I don't even know how to start this video right now. As you can probably tell from my title, we had another miscarriage. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know, it has been crazy this year so far already. I promised to put up some videos from the Maldives really quickly, but lots of things happened right at the beginning of this year, and that's why I kind of started putting videos up and then I stopped because I needed some time to myself, and I will get to this whole story right now. To start at the beginning, some of you might have wondered, oh, you haven't given us an update about whether or not you're pregnant again or not. Well, I was, yes, and I will tell you the whole story right now. It was December 3rd. It was a Saturday last year, 2016, and I suddenly felt really pregnant. And I told my husband, I was like, you know what? I think this cycle actually has worked. And I think I am pregnant. It was really early to test though, because my period was not due until Thursday. So I was like, we still have to wait because we will probably not see anything. But I do think it's positive this time. And so the next day, the 4th of December, was a Sunday, and I felt even more pregnant. My breast was so sore, and I just felt kind of like dizzy spells, and I just felt really pregnant. And I was like, you know what, I really want to test. I know it might be negative because it's still really early, but I want to test. So that afternoon we took the first test, and it was really faint. Like in the beginning, I couldn't see anything. Then I finally saw something, but Marco couldn't see anything. It is late in the afternoon, like 5:30. And I just, yesterday, I had the feeling that I am pregnant, and I told my husband, and then I was like, I'm so nervous because the past few months it has been negative, and I just don't want to give my hopes up. But we just now took a pregnancy test, and I swear I see a very faint line. Ugh. I didn't get a reaction since I did not think it would be. I don't think the camera can pick it up. Dreh's mal ein bisschen. Can you see it? There's definitely a little line. Woo! He took out 3D glasses to see it better. He was not convinced and said, okay, let's take one in the morning on Monday, the 5th of December. I had 3 exams that day. I was really nervous about those, but I was also really excited to see what the test will say. So the next morning we took another one of these cheap strip ones, and it was really faint, but you could see it, you know? And then he was like, yeah, I see it now, but I'm not convinced. Let's do the digital one. So we took the clear blue digital test, and it came back positive. Super faint again. Da, siehst du das? Mhm. Ich wusste es! I was so excited because I knew I was pregnant, and it was 4 days early, and it said positive right away, and I was just so happy. But since we had a miscarriage before, my husband was like, I think we should not tell anyone until we turn 3 months. First I wasn't convinced. I was like, oh no, I'm so excited, I need to tell someone. But then I was like, okay, let's not talk about it at all. So the days went on, and I texted my midwife. I told her, hey, I'm pregnant again. You told me I can text you as soon as I get pregnant, and we can get some blood tests done. And then she was like, well, congratulations, and I'm really excited for you, but when is your due date? And I calculated my due date, and it was my 25th birthday, I'm sorry. My 25th birthday, so which is the 16th of August. And she was like, I'm so sorry, but I will take a year off starting in June next year, so I will not be there for your birth. So I can't take you for this pregnancy. I was really upset about that because I really, really liked her. And then she's like, well, I have another midwife that does home birth, and I will tell her your whole story and then give you her phone number, and then you can text her, and then she will take the blood tests with you. So I did that. I called that other midwife, and she actually told me, like, I think you're just too nervous about it, and you should just calm down, take your exam, and then when you go to the Maldives, you should just enjoy your time and relax, and then after that you're 8 weeks pregnant, and then you have your doctor's appointment anyway, so you should just wait till then. I don't see a point in taking blood tests. So I listened to her and didn't take any blood tests and finished my exam successfully, thank goodness. And then we flew off on the day I turned 6 weeks. We flew off to the Maldives, had a wonderful time, but at that point morning sickness kicked in so bad. Like, traveling for me was awful, because it was such a long travel, and you can't really eat that much on the plane, and then you don't get enough fluids in, and it's just, I felt so sick. It was disgusting, and my face and my fingers were so swollen after that. Like, the whole trip I was just like really puffy, and like I could tell, like in the videos, I'm really puffy. It looks awful. So then we came back again. It was really exhausting for me, and I couldn't wait for the appointment that was coming up on the 3rd of January, which was a day before I turned 8 weeks. And then we had New Year's here in Germany, and on the 1st of January we were invited in my parents-in-law's house to have a dinner with them. And right before we left to go to dinner, I saw some spottings. And I got really nervous right away because I didn't have any spottings before. And last time when I got spottings, it turned out to be a miscarriage. So I was really worried. I was like, okay, something is wrong. But then I tried to not worry too much. And I was like, I need to talk to someone. Can I please talk to your mom? I asked my husband, and he was like, well, if it makes you more comfortable, then go ahead. So I took my mother-in-law and we talked about her. I told her that I was pregnant and that I had spottings, and that I was really nervous because she had spottings during her pregnancies, and she lost a baby before my husband as well. And my sister-in-law was actually a twin, but she lost the twin during the pregnancy as well. So she's experienced with that, and I told her what was happening, and she was like, well, did someone check your hormones yet? Because for me, it was a hormone problem. I needed to take some medicine for it, and then the babies would stick. So did anyone check anything? I was like, no, the midwife actually told me not to do any blood tests, and I don't know what's going on. And then she was like, okay, if it gets more tomorrow, you should call a doctor and come in a day earlier if it makes you feel better. So the next, and after that I talked to my mom as well, because I wanted to talk to her about it. I didn't want to feel alone, and I told her the whole story because she never had spottings. She never had any problems. She never had a miscarriage or anything. So this thing is really new for her, and she doesn't know much about it, but she is like my support, you know, she's my mom. But then I got home and the bleeding got more, and then I got more nervous, and in the morning it was so much bleeding that I was like, okay, this feels really off. This is way too much. I need to call a doctor. And I called them. I was like, can I come in today? Please, it's so much and I feel really worried. And they were like, yeah, sure. Come in this afternoon. It was awful. It was like 8 hours of waiting at home, sitting, hoping, and trying not to get up too much so it wouldn't bleed as much. And I was just crying all the time. And so I finally was able to go in. She did an ultrasound. My husband was with me. She did an ultrasound. She saw the baby and she was looking at it, and she's like, well, I do see the baby. It's right here and it looks good. But the bleeding does come from inside of the uterus, which was my sign for prepare for a miscarriage. I was like, okay, well, I don't see a heartbeat. Is the baby not alive or what's going on? She was like, well, you were supposed to be 8 weeks in like 2 days, but the baby is way too small for that. But it's like, I was like, then like how many weeks is the baby? And she's like, well, the baby's about 6 weeks. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, if it is 6 weeks, there doesn't have to be a heartbeat yet. So I wouldn't be worried too much about that. But since you got such an early positive pregnancy test, it's impossible to be off with the dates. And I was like, okay, well, I know that I have to be 8 weeks and 2 days, and the baby's only measuring 6 weeks. And it, like, in that moment, it like broke my heart, because I knew that I was miscarrying again, and that I lost my little one again. This time, I guess I was more prepared for it. I don't know. It's still really painful, and like I need to force myself to not cry, but I knew what was gonna happen this time. So she sent me home, and she's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe it's still growing and there's still hope, but I am not sure about that. Let's come back. You should come back on Friday. And this was a Monday, so she told me to come back on Friday. We made an appointment and we went home, and it was like, okay, if I do miscarry, I don't want to be at home alone because my husband has to work. So I stayed at my parents' house that night with my husband, because he had to leave in the morning for work. And that night I passed lots of tissue already. I started crying. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm losing the baby. That was on the 2nd of January of this year. I was like, okay, I'm losing the baby. And my mom was like, don't give up hope, don't give up hope. I was like, Mom, there's so much tissue, like it's going on, like I'm losing it. There's no hope anymore. And that night I got contractions at like 4 a.m. I was in the bathtub in my parents' house. I actually woke my dad up because I was moaning so much in pain, and he was like, are you okay? Can I help you with anything? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I just need to get through this. And that night, or that morning of the 3rd of January, I like passed my baby, and all of the big stuff came out. And I actually kept it because I thought that they would do some testings on it if it has like a genetic problem, or if it was actually me, or just to get some answers. So that went on for about 2 days, and then I called them again. I was like, I'm losing so much blood again, and I feel really bad. I can't even walk straight. Can I come in a day early to see if my blood levels are fine and if everything is out? Because the contractions stopped and the bleeding almost stopped, and I was like, there's still stuff in there. I know how much it has to be that comes out. So I knew that there was still something in there. So I went in again. She took an ultrasound. She was like, yep, you're right, the baby's out, but there's still lots of stuff in there, and I will give you some medicine that helps you contract again, and then hopefully pass lots of more tissue. And then if still not everything is out, you can come back if you want to, but I would just wait until the next period, and then everything will be out. So that's what I did. I went home, or to my parents' house, took the medicine, got more contractions, and passed lots of stuff again. And this time the bleeding lasted for 12 days. It was long, and I had problems. Like I was so dizzy, like my whole body was just not feeling well. I felt like I was really sick, but I had to go to a special training. I will link the name, I don't know the name in English, for 4 weeks, and that started that week. So for a whole week I was bleeding while I had that training, and I was just feeling so awful. I had to sleep so much, but then the bleeding finally did stop, and it was all gone. And like right after that I knew that I was ovulating again, which was crazy to me because my body again was right on track. And yeah, I had my ovulation, And now we're 2 weeks later. I got my period. It was a lot of period blood, because of course there was still stuff in there and it was just coming out, all of it. And now I think my period is gone and we're on that road again. We're still trying to conceive, but this time we talked to my doctor, and I told her, like, something has to be wrong. She was like, oh no, it's just nature doing its thing, you know, it wouldn't have been able to be alive and stuff like that. I was like, no, I'm young, I'm healthy, I don't smoke, I never took any medicine, and we were both young. Something has to be wrong, like this is not normal. And she's like, no, there's no big deal, but I want to see a doctor. So this week we have a doctor's appointment at a fertility clinic, and they will hopefully do some testings on me to see why I keep losing my babies, even though I'm living a healthy lifestyle and trying to do everything to protect my babies, and it's still not working. And I hope we can solve that issue and finally become parents, because it gets more and more frustrating the more time goes on. And being pregnant, like I have these past, I think it's like over 6 months now, like 7 months. I've been pregnant for 5 months and still, like, there's not even a baby close to being born, which is so frustrating. Like, I feel all the women out there that are continuously miscarrying, that are not, like, that struggle with infertility and all that. It is hard. It is so freaking hard. And I'm like so impressed by all these women that have to deal with that and go through it and are so strong. Like, you guys, or girls, you women are awesome. I really think you are doing an incredible thing, and you do deserve to become a mother someday. And if you have lost children in the past, you are a mother and you are a father if you've lost a child. Like, for me, it was important to give my baby names. I just didn't want to call them, oh, the first baby and the second baby. So we called our first baby, baby J, and the second baby, baby Tyler, to have like gender neutral names, but know that we can call them by name, because I believe that someday I will meet my little babies in heaven, and that they're waiting there for me, and that God is protecting them. Even though I couldn't meet them here on earth, that someday we will meet. And I'm really excited for that day, but I'm also excited to hopefully someday meet children of mine here on earth. So that is my long update. It's really sad. Our year started just really sad. I'm really hoping and praying that all of you mothers out there who have to deal with that as well and go through infertility, I pray that you guys will get your blessings as well, and that you continuously have hope and never lose your hope. That's it for my video today. If you have any questions, or if you want to share your story and just talk, just leave a comment down below. And I just hope that you don't feel alone, and know that there are so many women out there who are struggling with you, and that you should just never give up hope, because there's always hope in life. See you guys in my next video. Bye.